Started with this here real quick. We're going to be doing some live stream gameplay of a game called Pulang Insanity. We'll see how insane it is. It's probably going to be crazy, so bear with me on that one, guys. I've never played this game before. As soon as we launch the game, we do get the option of English, Korea, Chinese, or Indonesia. Oh boy, what's going on with COD, guys? And my sound commands broke again? Don't say they broke again. I'm glad we got this situated before we went live, guys. They should be working though. Hold on, let me. Oh, you know what? They are working. I think it's my Trixz bot. Give me a second. So I have to do this every time. Set up. What is that? Oh, 1,000. Donkey Hole coming in with the love. 1,000 cheerbids. Say what? That's insane. Let me test some commands here real quick. Guess they're not working, huh? Guys, can we get one of the mods to get a caster shout out for Donkey Hole? I know Donkey, I know you don't really go live on Twitch, but guys, I think he might go live again sometime. You never know. Never know. Let me fix this up. Why is it doing this to me? First, let's set it to this, right? Go back in. Now it's working. What was the other one? There we go. We got it, guys. We got it. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Oh, now it's working, guys. Good job. I can hear it on the other speaker, which is good. Yeah, I forgot about the scream command. Thank you for reminding me of that one, Thomas. In July, we'll see. There we go. That's good. And most of you guys would know who Donkey Hole is, guys. A lot of you would know, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and click English, guys. This is the game that we will be playing. This game looks like it's going to be creepy in some aspects, guys. So I hope we are ready to grasp that. It looks weird. Okay, it looks very weird. Why do I play these things? I don't know, but I love it. Press space to enter. We're gonna enter. Okay, but first of all, we have to go to settings. We go to video. Okay, when we go to settings, the video, render distance, everything seems to be on a max. First on, ambient occlusion, turn it on. Depth of field, no. MSAA, yes. Auto quality, yes. VSync, off. Okay, we're gonna click apply. Holy shoot. I think we want VSync on, right? I don't know, do we? My mouse is like, or is my cursor supposed to be doing that? Yeah, we actually need VSync on. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't even know. All right, we can't continue game because I've never played it. So let's set that new game, guys. All right, so we got Minga, 21st November 2010. Oh, Minga means Sunday? Is that, wait. No. You have no clue who that is. Right. That's the game we're playing right now, guys. All right, here we go. Looks like it's movie time.
I'm heading out. Here are the house keys. This shouldn't take too long. Keep an eye on the place for me.
I hope everything will be resolved to your satisfaction, sir.
This has to stop. I can't live like this forever.
Dad, I'm scared.
Hey, Nisa, where are you going?
All right, look at that. So it looks like our little girl or our daughter, whatever it is in the game right now, guys, just walked away, ran away actually, to be exact. So we gotta find out why she ran away and what is going on here. In terms of frame rate, guys, I think we are good. Things are looking great on our part, which is perfect. Not really digging the VSync though. So let me see. Blinky anyway. So, oh yeah, much better, much better. Oh yes, I don't even know why VSync was even on. All right, so we have downstairs. We don't want to go down. Let's just do the cliche type of thing and see why she's running for us. Wow, we can go in rooms? Oh, okay, cool. So we want to press shift to run, right click the focus, and press C to crouch. Let's focus. Oh, we got head tilting in this game, guys. Perfect. All right, before we go anywhere, let's can we grab anything? No. Oh, we got some head bobbing or whatever the heck you want to call that. That door is locked. We can hit light switches? Oh, I don't like that. That is spooky. Well, I'm glad we know where the light switches are. I didn't even know we can actually hit them. That's pretty awesome. So in that case, we need to be careful. No lag. Oh, yes. I'm so glad, guys. So glad. Okay. Nope. Not going in the room. There's a creepy doll on the floor. I'm not going in there. All right, so there's a little girl with a doll. Okay, we're not pressing these buttons. It looks like it's 72 degrees. That should be some pretty decent warm temperature, guys. At least we know we're not freezing. Oh, gosh. One of these games where you can open drawers. Oh, it's just the one drawer we can open. That's it. Okay. Mine. That's about it, guys. That's all we can do there. This looks like that's her room. We got some weird, creepy looking statues there. That door is going to be locked. That must be our family portrait right there, guys. Let's check it out. See what's going on. It's locked. So there was two doors to go into. First, let's check the first room. Let's find out what's going on here, guys. Oh, wait. What's this? I can't zoom in. Game Burratots. Oh, it's a little thing with the developers that they're doing here, guys, which is kind of cool. Hype. You guys like those new emotes, though? Oh, we got a map. Wait, what the heck am I doing? What's this? Nothing? Oh, map is caps lock. Wow, our map is like in real time. Look at this. Wow, that's amazing. All right, let's go back to Rudy's room. Who's Rudy? It's so dark in here. Oh, wait, we got light switches. Yeah. All right, we only got the one light switch to switch. Now, usually when you're in scary situations like this and there's a TV playing like that, bad things are happening, guys. We got some hocus pocus shadokus going on here. We have a flashlight. I'm guessing we're going to need that flashlight, right? How much you guys want to bet? It's going to make me grab the flashlight. It's highlighting. Yep, it's ours. You got flashlight. Tap the tap. You can press tab or I to access. Okay. What am I turning on? So we're going to hit I. Oh, flashlight. Okay, we can turn it on and off. Okay, cool. Do we have batteries? I don't know. Is that a thing? A flickering flashlight indicates the position of an astral creature from an important item near a player. Ooh, wait, what? Press and hold caps lock or M for accessing maps. I already had a map, though. Or does it change? I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, we got now focus works. You got files. What the hell was that? Did you guys hear something? Who's there? Who goes there? Oh no. Oh, what the? I went outside? For a second, I thought the game crashed on me, guys. How's the graphics, guys? How's the stream running? Is it running really good? I hope it's running really well for you guys. It's running good. Okay, good. Even earlier, with the adjustments that I did, I was surprised Call of Duty Modern Warfare even ran as good as it did. I was shocked. I was super shocked, guys. It's amazing. What I need to do, though, is lower these frames so I can dedicate more to the game and the GPU and whatnot. I like this new OBS update. Maybe it's the OBS update did it. I don't know. There was a new update with OBS I had to do. Okay, so for programs, we're going to go program settings here with my graphics control panel here. I actually have it set to that, so why? Oh. I got it. I think we got it, guys. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Okay, cool. All right, guys. I believe we are in good hands now. Let's get back into the game. All right, frame rate should be back to normal, which is perfect, guys. All right, so we have some things outside. Oh, we could jump in this game. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Did you guys hear that? Wait, can I go on top of this chair? Oh boy, here it goes, guys. We're going out the map. Oh yeah. Oh no, we can't. It won't let me. What the hell? They're like a little girl or something. Oh wait, the base broke. Who did that? Oh no, we're in trouble, guys. Oh no. All right, let's go back inside. Let's go back inside this house. We don't want to be out here right now. It is spooky. What's over here? Anything good? Whoa, pliers and everything. Whoa, something spooky going on here. I can't open that. I don't like bathrooms, guys. Bathrooms are always spooky with shenanigans. Yo, shut that door. It's backwards. Anyway, it doesn't look like we really got much reflection going on here, guys, which is cool. All right, I'm gonna go in the bathtub. No, we can't go inside. No, we can't go in the bathtub. We can't use the toilet. We can't go on the toilet. Oh, wait, there's a vent up there. What's with that vent? Oh, nothing. Okay. Well, I guess we're done here, guys. Let's go ahead and head out. Go back into the main hallway here, and let's find out what's happening. I think we have to go downstairs, but there was also that room over there. So if we look at our map, that's gonna be the gallery room and then the guest room. What the hell was it? Oh, hell no. Oh, that gave me goosebumps. Oh, no. You can't be doing this to me. Oh. Nope, we're not doing it. Nope, we're not going downstairs. We're gonna finish checking upstairs. Door's locked. Oh gosh, I think we might have to go downstairs, guys. A little girl's calling my name. Locked. Not much we can do here right now, guys. Wow, look at that picture. That's kind of cool. So I'm guessing we get infinite flashlight, right? Oh, wait. Sorry, guys. I'm going the wrong way here. Yeah, I don't like this this opening. It's like backwards. I'm not really understanding what's going on here, guys. Okay. I really don't like this. It's creeping me out. All right, let's check around. We got statues here, guys. They're kind of spooky. Maybe we can touch it? No, we can't touch it. Wow, look at that picture. Whoa, I can use that in my room right now, guys. We're gonna have to add this to some of our merch, right? Stuff like this, right? You guys want some stuff like this for Halloween, maybe? It's a dead end. All right, so this will be the gallery room. So the guest room we can't access yet. We're gonna have to go downstairs. Of course, we gotta go downstairs and go deal with that thing. Oh gosh, guys, here we go. Oh. Holy crap. Hello? Anybody here? Just looking for my daughter. I mean no harm. It's a nice looking kitchen. But why is a dining room table in a kitchen? What the hell? There's money. What, he's dropping money from the ceiling? Huh? The hell? Turning all the lights on, guys. Ooh, we got a fridge. Oh, now we're talking. This is my kind of thing now. Yeah, buddy. All right, what we got here, guys? We got some drink. Looks like it's like a Pepsi logo, but green and red instead of blue and red. Oh, wait, we got some nutrition facts. 0 calories, so it must be sugar-free, which is good. Oh, that's actually water. Drink water? Is that what the... Hey, I'm looking at the graphics. Don't come after me. Whatever's out there. We got some eggs. Looks like they're in different colors. We got some brown eggs and some white eggs. Okay. Probably whatever was on sale, right? Looks like we might have some booze, some bottles of water. I don't know. That just doesn't sound right. And I like the cornets, aging sleep. Wow. Hey. Well, I don't think there's much good in there in the fridge, guys. So let's go ahead and close that, and we're gonna open the freezer. Wow, look, the light turns off. That's impressive. I like that. Good mechanics. All right, what we got here? We got some. I can't see. It's too bright. All right, let's wait. Okay, close it. Anyway, let's continue checking around, guys. All right, anything with the cabinets? No, nothing around here. Got a pot. Looks like it was on. The sink's still working. There's no nozzles. How do you turn the sink on? Or it looks like the little like maybe finger flip switches. I don't know. That's what it looks like. We got some dishes. Good. None of them are in a sink. Thank goodness. I hate that. People just leave their dishes in a sink. Unacceptable. All right, we can't go back there, which is good. We're gonna need one of these knives. Yep. Give me a knife. No, can't grab them. Okay, fair enough. Let's check this back room here. It's locked from the other side. All right then. Give me some locked doors. I see how it's gonna be. There you go. Jim modifying one of the emotes there, guys. Yep. Grabs the nearest table. Tricks raised. So why did it not work? Why is that not working? That is interesting. I gotta fix it. Wait, money keeps dropping or something? What's going on here? I'm not going in there. You crazy? Yeah, we're going in there. All right, who was here? There was a body on the ground, and now it's gone. I'm not buying it. I know you're in this room. Just show yourself. Hey, look, see these guys. Look, we got the galleon. Ah! Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? A lot of family portraits in this game, but this one actually makes more logical sense this time. So it looks like we got a laptop, so we're not too old-fashioned here. You got files. What am I supposed to do with the files? We got files. So what's on this computer screen? I can't. Oh my gosh, so. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's go ahead and work on that really quick. Give me 1 second. Why is it not working? I did change some things, so hold on. That's something I gotta fix. Hold on, give me 1 second. Good time. Thank you. So right here, we're gonna have to add something. We're gonna do. I think we're gonna do. Give me 1 second. Hold on, guys. All right, try some emotes real quick, guys, if you don't mind. Try some emotes for me. There we go. Now it's working. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. All right, we should be good. Whoops, 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 whoops. Yep, there we go. Sorry about that. I really do apologize, guys. I appreciate your... Oh, gosh, we're going outside. Oh, man, we are legit outside. But wasn't there a dog out here? So what are we doing out here, guys? We're outside. We're just going to leave the place? Is that what we're doing here? We got a swimming pool. Do we go swimming? Oh, I guess not. We can't go swimming, guys. All right, let's continue looking around. What's in this pond here? It's so weird. I am looking for that little girl. It's a weird looking tree there, guys. Weird looking tree. All right, continue looking around. All right, don't worry, guys. One step at a time. We're fixing things slowly but surely. We're getting it. That's perfect. I feel like something's watching me. You guys hear something, let me know, okay? What about the main gate? Look at this. Look at this. Who puts f***s here? Who does that? Not even a key lock switch at the bottom of our hole. Okay, fair enough. Guess there's no key for that lock. See, here I goes with the dog again. It's a dog in there? What's up here? Oh, there is a dog. Is that my dog? Oh, it's locked anyway. Jeez. That dog got no freedom in this house. No, no, no. What's up here? Oh, this is nice. Oh, we can't sit on it, unfortunately. A nice looking, we're gonna say this is a Jeep or a Hummer, right? Or not a Hummer, a Jeep, actually. Jeep Wrangler. Does look like it needs some tire changing though. It's definitely low on the tire threading there, guys. Not looking too good. Looks like we got dual exhausts on the back, one on the left, one on the right. Locked. We're not going in that way, guys. Locked too. That's interesting. Whoa! Well, at least there's actually a dog in there, which is interesting. Locked. I don't think we were supposed to come this way, guys. Definitely, we're not supposed to come this way. All right, so everything's looking good though, right? Right. The game's looking perfect, guys. Let's go ahead and move backwards. Camera movement's looking perfect. Alright, we're gonna try the door that's over here, guys. Oh, we didn't go down that way. What's with this? Yeah, it's good. That's perfect. I'm so glad that it's running great, guys. I want to take a quick look here at the stream. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the channel here real quick. Just double check on it, make sure it looks good. Let's just see how things are working up pretty here, guys, just to see how things are actually sounding and see how the camera is actually turning in this game. Wow, it looks perfect. Jeez. The best I've done in a while. Finally, we do something right here. Now, audio, we're pretty good too, guys. I'm guessing with audio, we're pretty good shape as well. Okay. Okay, so it seems like outside all the doors are locked. I don't think there's gonna be much we can do here, guys. Let's head back inside. What did we grab? We grabbed some BIOS. Did grab some BIOS, but what do we do with them? Game tips, news. Oh, we got. Oh, wow. We actually get to read these newspapers. It looks like Dragon Ball Z down there at the bottom. I don't know if I really want to read all this, but this is about August 22nd of 2010. Definitely a throwback. Oh, the dates are right there. Look at that. Wow. Hi, Rudy. How are you? I hope you are doing great. How were the explanations about the paranormal activities? I did not tell you any lie because it really made you rich. In less than a month. You could buy a new house. This is really amazing, right? Talking about your wealth. According to what we talked about before, I want to ask you to share it. Don't forget that I am the one who has introduced the shaman to you. Rudy, I also want to talk about business. You know, my mining business. I also want you to take the part in on it. So maybe tomorrow we can meet in the downtown restaurant and I can bring one of my business partners. Please do not hesitate to call me up. I have my old phone number at 089-1555-21534. Santo. Enough? Interesting. So this guy, so we're playing as someone who's rich, who like tricked the system. Where'd the money go? Guys, there was just money falling from the ceiling. Where did it go? Did it disappear on me? I'm losing my marbles here. Okay, so what's down here? This is gonna be. I don't like that doll in that cabinet. Wait, what the hell is there? It's locked, man. What the hell? There's something going on over here. It's locked. Welcome. What the? Watch me get locked in here, guys. Okay, we got water, we got a pot, we got a wrench. What's with this awkward wrench? There's nothing here, though. No more money falling from the ceiling. Yeah, my character's losing it. Let's go back upstairs. Problem is, I didn't get any, backpack. All we have is a flashlight. We're really missing something here, guys. What the hell's going on here? Family room key? Where's family room key? Downstairs? Oh. How do I use it? The hell? Oh, I think I just opened the door. I was like, wait, hold on a second. Right, look at Donkey Donkey. Yeah, guys, I'm freaking out, but I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it. This is a bad room. This room is all so bad. Oh, somebody was playing too much video games here. What were you playing? You were playing the Spider Tour, Voodoo, Akiba, the Evil Ninja, Super Sakale. Human Metamorph. That's definitely a PlayStation controller. Wow, but with an Xbox console. Okay then. Alrighty then. So I think my character does all this when we have when we notice items or something. So weird. What's with the money? There goes the money that we found earlier, guys, just sitting right here on the ground. So weird. Locked on the other side. We're not coming in at all. Let's get this door open, and we're not finding anything with those either. That's it, guys. I think we got we got Nisa's room key, so we're going back upstairs. No, this is bad. Should I check it? I'm out of here. Bye, baby. Sorry. Find your own mommy and daddy. They'll help ya. Well, now that we got Nisa's room key, guys, we're ready to go. We got a phone here. How come we can't just like dial to somebody and get out of here, right? Yes, like this. Yeah. Unbelievable. Door is locked, but no. Nevertheless. Wait, what? Oh, the little girl was in this room, guys. We're gonna find her. This room is very trippy. Very trippy indeed. What's in this room? Why do all scary games always gotta have that? Antique box? What do you mean, there you are? Basement key? Hey, looks like the shape of the things we have on the Green Hill, except they're not brown or black, you know? Alright guys, I think we're done here for the most part. It's pretty nice in this room though. Wow, this takes us outside. Is that the neighbor's house? There's nothing out here, guys. Let's go back in. Got more files. Got some evil looking, demonic looking dolls. Hey, that's Barbie. That's the other toy from Toy Story with the sheeps. Wow, it's amazing. What the heck is going on here? You guys hear that? What the hell is going on? I don't think we can go down. Wait, we got the... You talking to me through a body bag? Wow. Basement key. How do I get to the basement? Okay, hold on. So the baby shoulder's still down there, and now we got these things, but I can't go down there. We have a basement key. Okay, so none of these areas work, guys. Yeah, we're definitely going crazy right now. So we need a basement key. What's this room? It doesn't even tell me. Wow. Wait, what the? Basement key? How is the basement key upstairs? about that. Nope. Nope. That's it for me. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys later. I'm just joking, guys. Give me one moment, though. Okay, well, let's get back into the action. Oh, gosh. You're back. Let me just get these headphones back on real quick. And we are in good golden shape here. Perfect. Okay. Now, we got a little boy or a little girl. I don't know what it is. Look into the window. And we need to stay alive. They're probably going to try to spook on us, guys, so let's be ready for it. They're definitely going to pull a fast one on us, so I hope you guys are ready as much as I am. All right. Showtime. You don't want to leave, do you? What the heck? Even with the light off, you still shine in the dark. Nope. What the hell is that? I don't trust this thing. Nope. We have to grab it? We got Jangling Kong? What the hell am I supposed to do with that? Can I use items here? Okay. But you dare be looking through the windows, man. What is that? It's gonna grab me. Oh, wait a minute.
All the news?
No. Nope. No, 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 no. No, you. No. I'm not going in that room with the lady. Are you crazy? Got files. We're getting a bunch of files here, guys. Drawing number 1. Looks like a bunch of school kids. Humiliated. Okay. Okay. Nisa saying I'll be you, but I can understand that. Nisa is really happy today. Mommy bought Nisa a new crayon. Aw, that's nice. That's it. It's a dead end here. the heck is going on? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, we got hanging dead bodies, guys, and I think that's a casket in the middle of the room. Thank you, thank you. So what am I supposed to be doing here? I don't get it. The only one who holds the truth is the one who never prepared for his death. The only one that knows the truth is the one who never prepares for his death? Ivan 2805, the one who died because he accidentally drowned. 2805. So the first one was the right one I just did. So who's this one? Wati 3002, the one who died because of parasites. Only one who holds the truth is the one who never prepared. Died by suicide? Well, he was prepared. He knew. Died because of 3 years of sickness, and they knew too. So the parasites? I guess the drowning 3002. Yeah, well, we got it, guys. Why do I smell something burning? I think there might be a campfire outside or a bonfire. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, I smell it. What the heck? Where the hell am I? Oh, no, 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 no. You don't do that. See, you don't do that. Alright, we got ourselves a music box, but we can't do anything with it. So we woke up in some kind of business room right now, guys. Bunch of laptops and things. What's this timer on the back? The time is frozen. Hey, what's up, Kelso? Yeah, you know, I said today I'm getting on early. You know, I've already done almost, you know, getting on close to 2 hours here, which is nice. Thanks for highlighting that message, by the way, guys. This door is locked. There's something out there. The heck is that? Guys, I'm stuck. I'm doomed. Oh, okay. Took me out. I didn't know what to do. It does make it look fantastic. Yeah, I'm seeing the difference, dude. A lot of people are saying it too. Like, OBS had an update. You know, we updated our GPU. Oh, I was meant to die. How much better would you say it does? Alright guys, so it looks like we are in the middle of the jungle here. It's visible on stream and I'm sure it is in game for you too. Yeah, it's running really well. I'm happy. By the way guys, if you look in our Twitch channel, scroll down into the panel section. You're gonna see I put my system specs on there, guys. So if you're looking for something identical to what I have, granted, I'm going to be upgrading my CPU very soon. So what you see now is going to change a little bit. I'm going to keep my stream open on the other screen here. I just want to... Okay, I don't know why I keep my stream open on the other screen here. I just want to... Okay, I don't know why I keep my stream open on the other screen here. I just want to... Okay, I don't know why I keep my stream open on the other screen here. Okay, I don't know why I keep my stream open on the other screen here. Okay, I don't know why I keep my stream open on the other screen here. Yeah, it actually looks really good. You're right, Kelsey. Yeah, it actually looks really good. You're right, Kelsey. Yeah, it actually looks really good. You're right, Kelsey. Yeah, it actually looks really good. You're right, Kelsey. Yeah, it actually looks really good. You're right, Kelsey. Yes, I can't push 1080p, but yes, I can't push 1080p. I stream 720 because it's easier on the viewers, and 720 because I don't have to stream at such a higher bit. So 720 because I don't have to stream at such a higher bit. So 720 because I don't have to stream at such a higher bit. So 720 because I don't have to stream. To lift the lagoon to the industry has left the money and screen that alien Alan to the industry has left the dominant screen that alien Alan to the industry. My subtitles are screwed up. My subtitles are screwed up. My subtitles are screwed up. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry about that. What am I doing? I really need to stay on top of my game and stop that, you know? Easy. But yeah, if you scroll down to the panel, guys, you'll see the Amazon shop deals for gamers or whatever. You'll see all my stuff on there, guys. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on. Let me get back to the game though real quick. Yeah, my audio was screwed up, guys. I do apologize. I had the stream open, that's why. That was my mistake. My bad. What's all these flowers? Do I still have I lost all my items. Wow. Oh, my items are gone. And we were driving the red Jeep. Look at that. We were driving the red Jeep, guys. Where am I going? Follow the road? We're gonna follow the road here. Wherever the road takes us. It looks like we're in the wide open right now. Oh, we're sliding down. No. Oh, gosh. Oh, dear. Jeez. Where do I want to go? This way? There is no map in this area. Well, that's very, it's very nice to know. Glad that there's no map for this area. And no artifacting? I believe it. But you know what though, Kelso? I guarantee it'll look like that for now. Until that next generation of GPU gets released. You know what I'm saying? Wait, what is that? Is that the pole over there? I think we got the 5-0 over there, guys. Let's get going. Let's follow the bridge. See if we can make it over there, right? Make it to safety, man. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Alright guys, let's head back down here real quick. By the way, thank you, Doki. Thank you so much, Doki, for those, by the way. I know the alert didn't pop up, but I still got them. I still see them. This way's blocked off. Alright, so we gotta go the other way. Yeah, so right now we're playing a game called Pulang Insanity, guys. So if you're interested in knowing what it is, just type exclamation mark game. The game title will pop right up. So what happened? There's something down there. I see a ghost. Hey, hold on, wait! Oh, what the? Holy, what the son of a... Guys, what just happened to me? What just happened to me? It's so dark. We lost everything, man! My next thing I'm gonna work on, though, get a new microphone. I'm definitely gonna go XLR. Hey, my flashlight! Did that thing really just took my flashlight? I got a file, so what's this file all about? Watcher's note? Oh. Only emptiness you will get. Okay, emptiness. Gotcha. Okay, well, emptiness. That's not even... I'm over here thinking it's a police vehicle, and it's not, guys. It's locked. Of course. I lost my flash... Oh, wait, do I have to bring it back out? Bring it back out. Okay, we still got our flashlight. Sweet. It's trippy. Holy macaroni. Whoa! Okay, good, good, good. Oh, what's this? A valve knob should go in here. The valve knob should go in here. Well, let's find a valve knob, guys. I don't trust that. I guess that's dirt, right? I think it is. What the hell was that? It looks like I need to get the water flowing first. Okay, well then let's... What the hell was that? Let's go up top. Okay guys, we made it to the top. I don't get it. We don't have a map of this area, guys. Well, let's head on downstairs real quick. See what's going on here. Here we go. Trying not to get scared. Got to survive. It got some screams in here. There you go, guys. There you go. Crouch beneath the tire, guys. Okay. So, wasn't I supposed to do something with the water? Really? No sounds? Oh yeah, they're working. Okay. I think they're working, right? Can you guys still hear them? Oh no, don't tell me Trixz2007's broken again. Trixz2007? What you doing to me? No, if I go to audio, hold on, give me a second. Now, if you guys do like, there you go. Yeah, you guys should still hear that. It's just I think I had the music volume was a little too high. Wait, did I have subtitles on? No, I didn't. Definitely want to make sure that's on. There you go. Yeah, the game music was pretty loud. Now I don't really hear the music no more. Which is good. I want to hear more of the game. Volume am I playing it? There we go. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. All right, let's go ahead and get inside this house, see what's going on in here. Locked? Seriously? So I did all that running for nothing, guys. Wow. You guys still hear the game music though, right? Bum 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 bum. So what am I supposed to do? X puts my items away. That's weird. Okay. So there's nothing around here. Yeah, I don't think we were supposed to go out this far, guys. I think I went too far. Go back inside. Let's get this water pump thing going. It's jammed. The gas canister over there. So okay, gotta get the water flowing, but how? Okay. See, that don't make any sense, guys. Am I doing something wrong here? Interesting. Okay, Trixz, put your mind together, guys. All right, so let's see. We went this way. We saw a ghost. We get here. We need the valve, but we got to do something about the water first. All right, let's take a look at the water. What do we got? We got pipes, right? All right, pipes leading outside. It's got to be something we can do with the pipes. So let's check this out real quick. What the deuce are, right? I wish that door would have opened and gave us a shortcut. Looks like I need to get the water going, flowing again first. Interesting. All right, let's go back, guys. I think we missed something. Okay, nothing there. Oh, wait, what's this? I don't know. Okay, so we don't have anything to do with the valve. It is pipe. Hold on. We can't go this way because it's locked from the other side. Well, you know what though? There was another direction we was able to go. We didn't do it, so let's take a look at it. I mean, right now at this point, I don't know what else to do. Except, what's over here? Oh. Yeah. Thank you, Donkey. I really appreciate it, bro. A lot of cheers you sent today. Take a nice little rollback on that, guys. Find out exactly what is going on here. Look at that. 15%. That is nice. That is very nice. Alright, let's get back into this, guys. See, I mean, we're still moving it up, trying to figure out what we're doing here. Go, 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 go! Jump, jump! Don't the song make you wanna jump, jump? Drink some more of it, makes you get pump, pump. Speaking of that, guys, I had to stay tuned on to the retro tournament, guys. Do we have any Viz members here, guys? Any Viz.com members here? If you're a Viz member and you play retro games and you're part of that community, you guys should definitely raise your hand. I need to see, look at the schedule on there, see what we got. We might have some time slots tomorrow, guys. Can I go back up top? No, we cannot. What is this way? So I went the right way in the first time. This was a no-go. This was a no-go. Why do this happen to me? Why do this happen to me? Where do I need to go? Where do I need to go? Where do I need to go? We gotta go somewhere, guys. We gotta figure out where we need to go. For sure. Keep heading back. Continue looking around, see what else we can find. Try to stay alive from all these paranormal activities out here in the wilderness and the wilds. Very nice looking trees. Look at that. That banana leaves from Green Hill? Is that what we need to build things, Jay? I think we need those, Jim. That's right. We're missing an item, guys. What are we missing here? So we go to this bridge. We've seen the ghost. We go down to the bottom. There's nothing we can do. By the way, guys, good news for a lot of you guys. Check this out. Check this out. Got some good news coming in and rolling in for you guys. Let me take my caps lock off, but I know I use it for my map. Campan Gaming. Okay. But we can't go in there. There's nothing in the barrel. There's nothing else up here we can do. We go downstairs, and then what? What do we do with this? Can we unboat the boats? No, definitely not with our bare hands. Here it tells us we need a valve, which is reasonable. Okay. All right, and when we go this way, there's nothing else we could really... Keep looking around, guys. We'll find it. Maybe it was back the other way. Bum, bada, bum, bada, bum, bum, bum. Jump up top. Anything to do with these pictures? All right, we gotta look at these pictures, see what we got here, guys. All right. Really nice. You like it? I hope so, guys. I worked a lot to get that all set up and organize it all up, but it's worth it, guys. I did it for you guys, you know. Let's look around. I bet you it's something we need to do with this monster truck. One thing I didn't do was actually check the monster truck, and those are some pretty big tires. Okay, let's put this down here real quick. Let's take a look around, see what else we got. All right, so nothing we could do there, guys. Okay, so we're not meant to go that way. Is that a boat? Wow. The trees are getting weird right here, guys. All right, there's got to be something right here. We went all the way back. Okay. How come I can't get in there? Wow, unbelievable, guys. I can't even get in there right now. Unbelievable. Okay, hopefully the game is not like glitched on me. All right, so what are we missing here, guys? Hold on, I don't get it. We saw the ghosts. We come down here. We need to do something with the water, and I can't get through this door. I wonder if this door was actually something I needed to do, and I can't. Yeah, there's nothing else we can do here. Maybe I should do this level again. Unless I'm really passing something and I just don't see it. No, I don't know, guys. We really don't know if it's something we see or not. Oh, is it? What do you guys think? Fired, you say? Fired? Okay. All right. Fired is good. I accept the fired. Because I'm doing terrible. Absolutely terrible, guys. All right, Trixz. Think. Okay. We need to think this very, very thoroughly. All right. The house can't open the door, right? Okay. Either one of two things. It's but. Oh, wait. The window. The window. I can't do nothing with it. And judging by the way the house looks, I don't think we're supposed to be in there anyway, are we? Yeah, let's not try to break the game too much. Anything with the bushes? Nothing. See, this is so weird, guys. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, how do I restart the level? I think there might be something wrong with the... Does the game autosave? I'm scared to do this, guys. But we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Okay, it remembers. Sweet. Sweet, guys. It remembers where we left off, which is perfect. There we go. Wait, this says 2010, right? How do we have touchscreen radios? Look at that. Look at the radio. That was a thing? 2010, was it? I don't know about cars. Okay, the game saved. So wait, okay. I think that goes beep, right? Beep, 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 beep. I think we totally missed something here, guys. All right, so we have a trail here to follow. Not much else we can do here, guys. We just followed that trail. We're gonna head down to the bottom. Let's just hope for the better this time, right? Okay, so we go this way. Let's keep running. Let's go. Let's keep running. Let's go. You know, sometimes when you're very stressed out, guys, you just gotta relax. You know, but sometimes if you can't relax, just get right back into the game. All right, so we got this. What else are we going to do here? That ghost lady's gonna appear up, guys. I hope you're ready for this. Are you ready for this? What's this? Oh, we can't go that way. I'm stuck on something. What the hell? Bro. Sky living. Oh, okay, he is living it up. Oh, come here, what is that? What is that? Oh! Oh, you jumped.
Hmm? Who jumped?
You jumped.
Who jumped?
Like you shook my floor.
No, you
And my lights were jumpy. So this was the new file that we obtained, which was the Watcher's Note, indicating only emptiness you will get. And that probably means we need to wash the water out, right? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I don't know. Because I was stuck and I had to restart the level because I think I broke the game. So here I need to a valve, which I know where the valve is. It's on Steam. It's a Steam joke. Okay. Never mind. You wouldn't understand. What?
Find it in the comments.
Huh?
And you wanna know where you find lots of salt?
What?
Find it in the comments.
Oh.
Lots of you.
Okay. Let's get back into it, guys. So why did we hear noise up there? All right, so it doesn't let me go that way. Okay, so right here, I believe is where we heard the footsteps stop at, right here. There's only 2 switches down there. I don't know, guys. Am I gonna have to look this up? I really don't like cheating in video games, and I don't like spoilers, but I think I might be stuck. We may have to use a cheat sheet. Or I might have to use a lifeline and let one of the viewers do the honors on this one. But again, guys, we will figure this out. Oh, wait. Hey, we can go up here?
You're fired!
Oh, yeah, there's some barriers. This game really got some barriers, guys. Yeah, I'm super fired. Wait, anything between the bushes? Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's nothing. Nothing even on here. So weird. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. Has anybody been keeping up with this beautiful pandemic that we have going on, guys? For what I've heard, we have a possibility that things are going to reopen in July, or maybe even next month. Or I think they're talking more so July. 3950X. Yes or no? I think I'm going to do it, guys. There's only one problem, though. I couldn't find my AM4 bracket for the AMD for my cooler. And I'm not going to go spend another $150 on a CPU cooler. So I had to call Corsair.com and fill out or talk to support or whatever, make sure I got the right bracket. Now, luckily, the bracket only costs $14.99, but they get you with that $10 shipping, so technically $25. And I had to go far and beyond just to get 10% off, but I got that. But now it's on the way, guys. It should be here within a week. And by then, there was something in the water. I just saw it. I just saw that. So once I get that plate in, I can go grab the motherboard and the CPU. And I'm nervous, guys. That CPU does support 32 megahertz, which is great. But it's got great scores for everything. But I'm nervous because I'm sure that AMD's coming out with something new by the end of this year. You know? There was something right there in the water, guys. Where did it go? Am I supposed to go out there? So there's alligators in the water. What am I looking at here? Oh, I think I know what I gotta do. I think I gotta go in the water. Wow, so where do I go? Oh, never mind. Thought I went in the water, but I guess not. I got all excited for nothing. Man! I'm so sad. I really am, guys. It looked like I can go in the water. I really thought we could have for a second. Man, games like that tricks you doing stuff is such unbelievable. I don't believe it. All right, so I can't. Wait. I see something flashing in there. Door still doesn't open, guys. Yeah, well, the 3600 is definitely going to be better than what you're looking at now. Now, that's the one with 6 and 12 threads, right? Is that the one you're looking at, Jim? It's going to be better than what you got now, dude. Now, so that means when I switch out, guys, I'm going to have an Intel 8700K and then an Aurora Z370 Gaming 7 motherboard with the GTX 1080. So I had a couple people that was looking at the 1080, but instead of just selling just the 1080, I think I'm just going to sell the bundle. So it's much better. Or I'm just going to build me another computer, guys. I think that's what I might just do. I could either make a stream PC or I could just make this computer and just give it to my son so he can have a really good computer. I don't know what we're going to do here yet. Let's see. Yeah, honestly though, Jim, that processor that you're getting, six cores, 12 threads, 3.6 gigahertz. Yeah, it's literally right behind the 8700K that I have now, but it's right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally right behind it. Like, it's not far behind. That's not bad, bro. That is not bad. So I can tell you, based on experience with that amount of cores and gigahertz speeds, it's a good processor, and I think it's going to be great for what you're doing. Or spoil the child. Yeah, I think I might do it. Secondary stream PC. Yeah, so it's pretty much one or the other. I'm debating. Yeah, 3600 is going to be nice, dude. Yes, thankfully. Because remember, Jim wanted that 1800 AF, and we had to talk Jim out of that. Okay, get out of first gen, get out of second gen. Second gen. Get out of first gen, get out of second gen, and go with third gen. Okay, third gen processors. That's going to be the 3000. Now I know the 4000s are right around the corner. And honestly, I was looking at Threadrippers, guys. From a gaming perspective, it's just not there for gamers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got the core count, it can do the multitask, and it has but it just has, you know, smaller clock speeds and it just doesn't really do good in terms of benchmarking. It doesn't even like decompress things and encode things as quickly as it like you would think it would. So there's no point of having all those cores, which honestly, I think now 6 cores is minimum. It used to be quad cores, but now 6 cores is minimum. Where am I going? I don't know where to go, guys. Something is not right. Right, yeah, no, you're okay, Gem. See, but see, the thing is, it's not always about performance, so you want to look at power consumption. You want to look how efficient it's going to be. You want to see, you know, like, the memory speeds in the processors. You know what I'm saying? See how much, megahertz do the CPU support in terms of RAM. You know, which is a pretty big downside to AMD processors that I noticed was the RAM speeds. Okay, guys, there's something we're missing. Okay, what's with these poles right here? Do I do anything with the thing? No. I don't have any items, guys. Nothing. I have nothing. There's boats here. I can't go in the water. I saw the alligator, and then that's it. We can't do anything. I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I don't know. And I think I just stuck myself. Ooh, thank goodness I got out of that. Yeah, I can't grab the bricks. Jammed. Right, 0.2 gigahertz, but that's 200 megahertz though. Now, if you were overclocking, yeah, that wouldn't be worth it. But if it comes with the base clock speed or turbo, I say yeah. But yeah, I guess you're right. For 50 bucks more, you're not going to see like a huge difference. All right, guys, there's something in this room. I can't believe we're so stuck. The ghost stopped like right around here, but why? No kid. Can't do nothing with the note. We got pictures here, right? Guys, I know that picture. That picture right there. I know that picture. Unbelievable. Oh my god, my health is red. I don't know. Yeah, very true, though, Gem. You're right, dude. You're right. But you know what? I'm happy for you, bro. You're gonna get a really good processor now. Wait, what the? How'd I get up here? What the heck? What the heck? What was that? What did me? Oh, that is amazing. Amazing, I say. You go through the bottom and it takes you to the top. That is insane. J3 Lock, what's going on, bro? What's going on, man? You like that sub badge? You can thank Donkey Hole for that. Guys, whenever somebody gives you a sub, guys, throw them a follow. These guys are paying money for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're supporting me and they're supporting you. All right, there's got to be something we're missing here, guys. All right, what is with this? Okay, there's got to be something with that because why are two different pipes standing out so much? There's that glass thing again behind her. All right, let's go back this way. See, I don't have any items, so I don't know what we need to do here. The valve knob should go in here, yes, but I don't have the valve knob, and I can't get the valve knob. There's no other nozzles or anything I can grab? Baby step? Mm-hmm. Don't forget, guys, down below in the panel, we have a gift sub leaderboard, okay? We got Donkey Ho leading it off. We got Kelso right behind Donkey Ho, guys. Top 2 sub gifters in the stream. Let's not forget Bori. We have a couple others as well, guys. Hold on, alarm clock's going off. Oh, we're hitting that overtime. Let me take a look. There's got to be something with this pipe, guys. Nothing I can do. Maybe there's something on the bridge. Locked from the other side. What the heck is that? What? Unbelievable. That's gonna probably chase us. Let's be careful. Alright, dumpster. Nothing in a dumpster. Nothing that I can see. Alright. There's gotta be something on this bridge, guys. That's just a piece of grass sticking out to the bridge. There's no other items that I'm seeing here. By the way, J13, I think I saw you join our, or J3, I think I saw you join our Discord. All right, guys, come on. We got this. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't too sure because I did see that it gave you the Twitch sub, bro. So I just wasn't sure if you been around and out. Oh wait, I'm out of the map. I don't think I'm supposed to be out here. Guys, I'm about to break the game. Oh gosh. Trixz, what are you doing? Actually, I'm really curious. Okay, I like doing things like this, guys. Oh yeah, there's definitely a barrier here. You gotta change your name back. Yeah, you do, bro. Gotta get it back. What made you change it? Did you like J3 lock better? Well, I see you're trying to use the 3 as the B. I got you. I see what you're doing there. Nothing there. Guys, I'm about to use a cheat sheet. This is crazy. I don't get this. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. Everyone says J Lock instead. So in a week I'm gonna change it when it lets me. Gotcha. Yeah. I think because you know what it is though. Twitch is a little different, right? It's not like Xbox or PlayStation where people really use the 3s as Bs and like, you know, the 5s as S's or whatever. But some people use the 3 as an E. I mean, I don't know. We're missing something, man. I need to get behind that gate. Oh yeah, I forgot we could do the whole lean thing. All right, guys. I don't know. Solid J13. Oh boy. Wow. Oh, the puns. The puns. What am I supposed to do here? Unbelievable. 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 I'm going crazy, guys. I'm losing my marbles. Okay, first of all, we got 2 switches, right? We got this one. It looks like I need to get the water flowing again first. Okay, that's nice. Looks like I need to get the water flowing again first. Okay, now what? Now what? What am I supposed to do? This game is playing with my emotions. How dare you? If I had a long beard right now, I would literally be rubbing it because that's interesting. There's nothing down there. I don't need to go down there. Okay. Why did we see the alligator in the water earlier, though? Right? I feel like that alligator gave us a hint to something. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Donkey Hole coming in with the sub. I mean, not with the sub, but with the gifted sub. Congratulations, ZonoCap. You better be following Donkey Hole for that. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that, guys. Make sure you guys are following those sub gifters, guys. Oh, Kelso. Oh boy, he's like, Whoa. All right, there was something out here, guys. Let's go back. Guys, I need your guys' eyeballs with me for this one, okay? Let's use our eyeballs together. What's around here? Right. Yeah, poor Limey. But you know what, though? Limey just doesn't do it. The app is dead. It's gone. It's a done deal. You know? Magic Killer would tell you. Jay would tell you. It was good, though, when it first lasted. It was good. Right. Oh, I'm breaking the game. Okay, so let's go this way. We had a crocodile, alligator, whatever it was. I did see it, but it no longer exists. So why am I stuck here? I can't go in the water. Yeah. Oh, good, though. No, I'm saying, like I said, guys, it was good at one point. It just couldn't sustain. Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to go in the water. And even if we did, where will we go? There's nowhere to go, really. It was right here I saw that alligator. So many barriers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Like I said, I saw this down ramp, so I got excited thinking, hey, we're about to hit the water. That wasn't the case. There's nothing with this, right? That's just a piece of grass coming through the red thing here. Okay, so this hill, this lets me go up here. Yeah, I can't go through that door. I don't know what to do. Ugh. All right, guys, that's it. We're stuck. I'm stuck. I don't know where to go, what to do. So what was the purpose of coming all the way out here, though? Like, there has to be something. There's gotta be something. I'm really about to cheat sheet this, guys. I don't want to. But I don't want to be running around for 2 hours of nothing. I'm really missing it or something, or is really... I'm passing it, I'm not seeing it. I don't know. Yep, honestly, guys, I don't know what is going on. Too bad I can't grab one of these bricks. That door is jammed. Sorry, noob. That shows the plan I think we're at. Thomas is gonna sing the remix of that Justin Timberlake song, Dead and Gone, Dead and Gone. That's crazy, guys. All right, let's figure this out. See, I don't get it. I don't know anymore. There's 2 switches here. You know what? We gotta think here for a second, guys. We really need to think here, like what we need to do, right? Like, what do we need to do? I don't know, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do here, guys. Alright, so I know we saw the creature on the bridge, right? We saw the creature on the bridge. And then we got to see the beautiful... Yo, we found the 2 levers here. We got the 2 levers, but we really got to think about what's next. I don't know. I don't know what else we got to do here. There's got to be something, guys. There's got to be something. What are we going to do about it? What the heck are we going to do about it? Man. Like, guys. Okay, the only thing I don't like about this chair is that this pillow comes off way too easy. Kind of annoying. It comes off a little way too easy, guys. Alright, well, let's figure something else out here, guys, because we're definitely missing something. I'm glad I got the things on, because I don't know if you guys can hear the sirens anymore or not. Let's go, everybody, let's go. Boom, but the boom, the boom, the boom, 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 but the boom, the boom, the boom, boom, but the boom, the boom, the boom, 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 but the boom, 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 but the boom, doom, 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 doom. All right, where we need to go, guys? We gotta really think, nice and easy on this one. Nice and easy on this one. Are you guys able to see my frame rate up here? No, you guys don't see it, right? Something's not right. There's no way, guys. There's no way. I don't understand. I truly don't understand what's happening here. Okay, so typically We got 2 levers we can't do anything with. We checked every single thing. Nothing. Something's not right. I think the game is broken. There's no way, guys. There's no freaking way. It can't be. I mean, if this door said locked, jammed, or something from the other side, but nothing, and I'm looking inside, I don't know. It's got that sound like... Nah, something ain't right. This door should either be opening, or this should do something. It feels like this door is meant for something. There's no way it'd just be like that. I don't want to do this, guys. But I'm gonna look at the reviews on the game. Hold on, give me a second. What is this? Pulang Insanity. Go back onto the reviews here, guys. Hold on, give me a second. Let me pause this. I don't know. It's got good reviews, but I don't know. I'm stuck. Something's not right. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna quit the whole game, guys. We're gonna quit the whole game. It's exactly what we're gonna do right now. Okay? We're gonna quit the entire game, and then we're gonna restart this bad boy again. And this time we got it. Don't you worry, guys. We got this.
You're fired!
All right. You're irritated. Why? Donkey Hall, talk to me. What's going on, bro? I gotta do this again, guys. I can't believe this. I can't freaking believe this. What do this happen to me? Why does my camera keep turning on me? We're loading back in, guys. Ouch. That's the worst, bro. Were you online? When you're playing the game and it happens? That's a big no-no, guys. It's gonna happen during the COVID-19 area time. He didn't even break the window all the way. He's crawling through. Dum 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 dum. I've had this issues before with video games, and when that happens, just restart the whole game, right? Bum ba bum 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 ba bum. Bum 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 ba bum bum ba bum. Bum 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 ba bum. Thank you so much for those. All right, let's keep going, guys. Now we have to be very careful. All right. Oh, I'm getting frame drops here. Holy moly. Holy moly. Let's head back down to the bottom here, guys. All right, so things are running pretty good here. I'm glad it's running great. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, guys. I'm really, really glad. Look at that. It's better. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. So your router won't come back online? Wow. Did you power cycle it already? Yeah, right, Thomas. You got it. You got it. You got it. So the game I'm playing right now is called, oh my god, that music is loud. Yeah, the game I'm playing right now is called, Pulang Insanity. Just started today. Literally on the second level, I want to say. So I don't know much about what's going on right now. Oh, I saw it for a second. Well, let's hurry up and get up there, guys. Thank you, Thomas. Can't do anything with that. I'm gonna try this again, guys, see what's going on. We may not be able to progress through this game. That's a big letdown. Yep, hi. Oh shoot, we gotta get back to the bottom. Okay, let's be very careful here, very cautious, and see what we gotta do, right? We're gonna go this way, move ourselves around. Get comfortable here. Let's get this mouse in, oh gosh, keyboard closer to us. All right. Now, I remember earlier we saw that crocodile, so I'm really curious to see if we're going to see it again, guys. Look in the water right there. Nothing. I think it's going to be right there. I know you guys see it now. Oh yeah, there it is. We found it. There's a crocodile here. But that's it, nothing. I don't think there's not much we can do right there. Bum 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 bum. Alright, let's get back inside. Why is it doing that? It's locked? Something ain't right. I'm not gonna put up with this, guys. Time to Google this up. Alright, so right now we have... What was it called? Pulang. Where's... You think I need to find a key? There's gotta be something, guys. I don't know. I don't know. Don't get it. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Let me watch a quick playthrough real quick of somebody, but not like, let's see. Okay, there's the house, there's the letters. I'm just gonna skip across where what I did. You know what's weird? Okay, hold on. I'm watching this video real quick. So when they get to the door, it opens and loads. So this is a loading door. Hmm. I don't know. So interesting. Hmm. I don't get it. I don't know, guys. That's it. I think we broke it. That's it. We broke the game. The game is done for. No. Okay. All right. Let's think here for a second. Why is it not letting me? Yeah, it is. It is, guys. It really is. I can't believe it, dude. It's stuck. All right. You know what? We're going to do multiplayer time here, guys. And I think it's about time we've done something we haven't done in quite a while. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and switch scenes here real quick. And let me just go ahead and stop this recording. Now, I don't have a lot of time, but we'll do some time. I mean, Donkey Ho came in and did a lot of support for the stream, guys. So we're going to do some stream extension here just a bit.